Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Given the movie, which is the movie sequel to the Given anime series, which was released in 2019, animated by Studio Lurch. Now, when Given first came out in 2019, based on the manga of the same name, it managed to really capture a lot of people's hearts when it came to its story of its boys in a band while also having a bit of gay romance in it, and very well handled romance in that respect between Uenomiya and Mafuyu. And with this film, we not only delve more into Akihiko and Haruki, but we also see parts of the pasts of these characters that we didn't really get a lot of in the 11 episode series. What follows is a film that essentially feels like it's more of an expansion of the original series more than an actual film, but for fans of Given, it definitely is a good time. So the story of the film is that Akihiko happens to see one of his old boyfriends, Uegetsu, at a concert, and turns out he's a genius with the violin. While Akihiko has to reconcile with the fact that he's gonna have to find a way to, let go of Uegetsu in order to pursue Haruki, we also see our boys preparing for a big performance for another one of Mafuyu's big songs, as their band is steadily growing in popularity. But that's basically all the story that the film has. It's only about an hour long, and that includes the credits sequence, which pretty much makes it barely feature length when it comes down to its overall length. But it uses every second of that length to its advantage, and it manages to tell its story in a way that's more concise than it would be in a single 30-minute episode of anime. It gets you to really care about Akihiko and Haruki even when things get really heated in between them, and one scene almost left me breathless in a sense. Though part of it was mainly because I didn't think they would actually go a certain way with how they would interact with one another. As far as Uenomiya and Mafuyu go, they're more secondary characters in this story, but that's fine, considering they had the whole first season of this show dedicated to them. But they still happen to do well in their parts in the film, and even Mafuyu manages to have some good conversations with Haruki and Uegetsu throughout. Speaking of which, Uegetsu manages to stand out as a pretty cool character in his own right. He could have easily just been the typical jerk to contrast with Haruki, and granted, they don't make him the nicest guy, but you do understand why he is the way he is, and you have to admire some of his violin skills. On the technical side of things, the animation here is about on par with how it was in the actual series. Lurch is, which is good, but not really film quality. But it would be good for the sake of an anime production released on television. That's especially the case when it comes to the use of CGI in a couple of scenes. Granted, it's only used in a few of the musical performances, and it's only for a few seconds, but it's kinda noticeable in the same way that it was in the actual series. But it doesn't detract from any of the good music that's throughout the series, which, just like in the original series from 2019, is one of the highlights of the film, particularly two songs that were sung by Mafuyu that take place during the film's climax and during the credits, which are pretty much worth going through just for that song. Both of them are catchy, they're meaningful, and they're full of emotion, just like Mafuyu's big song sequence in episode 9 of the series. So, for those of you who aren't into Given, this probably won't convince you otherwise when it comes to whether you'll like the series or not, but if you're already a fan, it's an absolute treat for you. That's why I'm going to give Given the movie an 8 out of 10. See you next time.